I don't know, man. What's that dude's net worth, you think? He deserves to die. I'm a leftist. Crazy. Like, you're watching people cry because their fucking homes are burned. And there's people being like, garbage city anyway. Like, I mean, it's extra funny because, like, I live here, right? But also, like, this is completely unacceptable when people do this for Florida. It's completely unacceptable when people do it for Louisiana, for Texas. Like, it's so stupid. They're like, oh, yeah, hell yeah, dude. You know, California, they suck. They deserve it. Like, it's just so strange. You know? Only acceptable for the UK? No, it's not acceptable for the UK either. What are you talking about? Saw a pretty serious lack of empathy because some of the properties were Airbnbs. Like, I agree, housing is a right, but with the way they say housing system is set up, it's not an investment. No, I don't give a shit about the Airbnbs, man. Not all of those houses are Airbnbs. Like, what are you, crazy? Pacific Palisades, especially, is like an area where people just live. You know what I mean? They're not. Those are not Airbnbs. Like, people's homes burned down, you know?
Flames continue to spread.
And it's not even just Pacific Palisades. It's like Altadena. Who's getting an Airbnb in Altadena, dude? What are they doing? Are they going to the Bunny Museum? Is that why? Like, what are you talking about?
Is all that's left of this school.
The community mourning what's been lost, including famous residents like Billy Crystal, who wrote of his lost home. Every inch of our house was filled with love. Paris Hilton watching hers burn on TV. And Mandy Moore.
Like, this is what the media does, because this is the most like interesting part of it for the average person. So then it leaves the audiences with the idea that, like, every single person is Paris Hilton, and it's like their Malibu. It's their 11th Malibu property that burned down. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what happened. Okay.
More writing, I'm in shock.
I have never flown in conditions quite like this.
A time lapse showing the Palisades fire's rapid and terrifying growth. Overwhelmed fire crews working around the clock.
Here we go.
NBC Los Angeles learning that the LA fire chief warned in a memo last month that budget cuts would affect its response to emergencies. Mayor Karen Bass pressed after arriving back in the city from a trip to Ghana.
Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
Bass later saying budget cuts didn't affect the response. During the peak of the firestorm, city officials say hydrants.
Regardless, it's an affluent neighborhood. Yeah, I don't care that it's an affluent neighborhood. Malibu especially is like incredibly wealthy. Pacific Palisades is like doctors, high earning professionals, and normal people live there too in terms of wealth. But I still don't care. It's like, this is still so much devastation. And the parts that we're not talking about is like Altadena, or even the area where that almost caught on fire near Runyon Canyon. Like, the Sunset Fire, if last night's Sunset Fire actually reached the residential areas, that would have devastated the lives of so many people. Okay? I can't empathize. I look at someone like actor James Woods, for instance, and I can't. Yeah, I'm not talking about James Woods. Fuck James Woods, bro. What are you talking about? He should have stayed in his goddamn house, okay? That's not who I'm talking about. You guys are just like, there's a difference between, like, you know, saying fuck James Woods, which I agree, versus, like, you know, the Runyon Canyon fire potentially lighting Hollywood on fire. You know what I mean? Or Altadena. Like, it's not just like rich, out of touch celebrities there. Okay. There's like normal human beings. It's like 75% of the Pacific Palisades is gone. Yeah. Matt Leap's sister's house burned down. My twin sister's house / entire neighborhood in Altadena burned down today, as well as a bunch of my friends. Luckily, everyone is safe with their families. You think Matt Leap's sister is a mega celebrity? The answer is no, chat. You have no, like... Yeah. Altadena has a significant black middle-class population with deep historical roots. Altadena Meadows was exempt from redlining policies that prevented African Americans from purchasing property in much of California. I know people who have been directly impacted. They lost everything. Yeah. Like, the greatest example I could give you is my own personal experience. Like, I lived in Brentwood. Okay? I lived in Brentwood. Brentwood is an insanely wealthy area. Okay? Insanely wealthy. Guess what? I lived with a roommate in an apartment that was built in like 1934. Okay? With the popcorn ceiling. And I was paying like $1,000 a month in rent. I wasn't caked up at all. I was making 35 grand a year. Okay? And I had to evacuate. So if you look at that situation from the outside and you think like, oh, these are just like rich people that live there, you don't understand. There's like mixed income housing in a lot of these places. You didn't own that? Yeah. What are you talking about? Yes, people rent, dude. What? My point is, you don't. Ugh. Bro, did your hairdresser burn? What is this cut? Man, shut up. Like, there are always random people. You know what I mean? This is like a big city. But yeah, we're going to talk about the fire hydrants in a second.
Unable to keep up with the extreme demand.
What is going on with the water situation?
We have had some issues with water. If you stick enough straws into a glass of water, it's going to empty faster.
NBC's Morgan Chesky witnessing it firsthand on the Eaton fire.
Out of every fire hydrant you've seen, what have you found?
Right now, we're finding most of them are down or low pressure.
Dramatic before and after satellite images show the scope of the destruction, while a firestorm of unprecedented ferocity continues to rage.
Now, firefighters are doing the best they can, but there are still areas here that are smoldering. The situation yesterday and on Tuesday, we had 80 to 100 mile per hour gusts. Those are hurricane force winds. It would take smoldering embers like this and launch them, say, 3 to 5 miles away, introducing fire to neighborhoods that had no business being part of this blaze. So that's kind of the setup that we had. And right now, the winds have eased a bit. But later on this evening, typical Santa Ana winds, 60 to 70 mile per hour gusts are still in the forecast.
How is it any different than Israel saying Gaza is full of terrorists? It's worse. Like, Israel is not a natural disaster. Israel's directly killing everyone in Gaza. Like, it's ironic, though, because people do say that.
And it just makes it nearly impossible for these firefighters to control
Maybe
it.
even some people who say that live in Los Angeles and have their house burned down recently.
All right, Dylan Dreyer. Dylan, thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for...
Do you think the current reaction from the fire department would have been the same, even without the budget cut? Not asking this to fight, just curious in your opinion. No, that budget cut is so marginal. What was necessary for the fire department was budget increases, most likely. The budget cut in and of itself, for me, is more so about the spending priorities, showcasing the spending priorities of the locality. Okay. That's what it shows me. If you're cutting $17 million from the fire department budget while adding $138 million to the police department budget, that means there's money out there, and you're putting that money. You're taking money away from the fire department and then putting that money into the police department. That to me is completely unacceptable. especially because there are plenty of people that recognize the unique place that Los Angeles, the unique way Los Angeles exists currently. Okay? It's dry as hell. This has been a particularly dry year. It's obvious that, you know, a high wind situation like the one that took place was going to be disastrous. And it happened. And it's devastating. And the fact that the Los Angeles city government didn't consider this to be a serious enough issue is crazy. Like, people can just to me, I feel like people say DEI or whatever dumb shit that they're saying because they're stupid and dumb. Okay. How is it like outside your crib? I'm fine, dude. I'm in a safe area. Yeah, chat's hyper focus. They read Marx. Anyway.
Good morning to you,
You'll
Tony.
see what some of these conditions look like, the wind conditions.
We can't get much closer. This is one of 3 houses that burned. Right now, the outside looks okay, but as you can see, there's crews inside that 3rd smoldering floor of the house. It's very hard to get crews up here because these are gnarly, narrow roads, but fortunately, they were able to get a hook and ladder up here and stop this. We are in the middle of very dry and dense vegetation. Things could have gotten a lot worse.
The legendary Hollywood Hills became the latest flashpoint in wildfires consuming large parts of Los Angeles overnight.
You guys gotta get out. You guys gotta get out.
Flames broke out around 5 p.m. yesterday in Runyon Canyon Park, a popular spot for hikers and dog walkers.
Our house, you can tell it's next, and we're getting out.
On the streets below the hills, evacuation orders stretched south to the famous Hollywood Boulevard and its Walk of Fame, where spectators gathered to watch the blaze and traffic bottlenecked with residents trying to escape. And on the other side of the hills, Studio City at one point looked to be the next part of a town under serious threat, with flames engulfing homes and acres of brush. An all-out assault by crews dropping water from helicopters eventually gave them the upper hand, but some abandoned homes could not be saved.
It's real people out here going through some real
right,
real stuff,
right,
real things, losing their clothes, their life, their family, their pictures, their everything that they have had.
And the reason why the fire was able to be contained is because the winds have died down, and these crews are not the only ones that work. Those water drops have really saved a lot of properties around here. Tony.
Lilia, thank you very much. We go now to Jonathan Pigliotti here in the Pacific Palisades with me. He's been covering the fires here since the first flames 2 days ago, now covering it into a 3rd day. Jonathan, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you, Tony. It's been nearly 2 days since this fire started. What's incredible and what I've never seen before covering a fire, there are still homes catching blaze right now. The fire crew here you see arriving just a short while ago, but we have witnessed over the nearly past 48 hours, home after home catch fire without a single crew in sight.
The Palisades fire has devoured everything in its path, including some of the most exclusive neighborhoods in the country, leaving behind only remnants of what was in the Pacific Palisades, like this spiral staircase. The fire quickly spread to the celebrity haven of Malibu, reducing the once iconic Pacific Coast Highway with its beachfront restaurants to piles of debris and smoky ash.
Just an insane scenario right now. Like, I can't believe that this all across LA, like, this is just happening and it's completely out of control.
Oh my God. This is now considered the most destructive fire in LA County history.
We just arrived here in what is left of downtown Pacific Palisades, and I am overwhelmed by the scale of loss. Many people are going to return to homes that were lost, and even more important, their community completely gone.
Flames also reached a more than 100-year-old church.
Downtown's landmarks like this are quickly being erased off the map. Reinforcements are being brought in, but for a community like this, so much has already been lost.
And more has been lost, with a noticeable shortage in fire crews.
It's been more than 24 hours since this fire first ignited. Homes are still going up in flames on both sides of the street. Over here, this condo igniting, and there is not a single firefighter here on the street.
We've just been evacuated from this Good Samaritan's car. You got it, Dad.
Amid the tragedies, stories of neighbors helping neighbors.
I don't know, man. What's that dude's net worth, you think? He deserves to die. I'm a leftist. I'm a leftist. I'm a leftist. I don't know. Is he, I'm a right winger. Is he woke and gay? He deserves to die. I'm a leftist. Is he rich? He deserves it. He deserves, throw him in the fire. Yeah, class conscious flames erupt, doing class warfare for you.
This is crazy. There's a fire right outside our car.
Aaron Sampson was taking care of his 83-year-old father-in-law when they knew they had to escape.
We got this. We got this. Come on. Turn around.
And let's be clear here, these firefighters are heroes, but they clearly need more support. The LA Fire Chief requesting an additional 1,000 fire crews from Northern California. But the question this morning, why so late in the game? And will they arrive in time to help save homes that are still threatened, like the ones behind me, Tony?
Jonathan Vigliotti with the flames still burning behind him. Jonathan, thank you very much.
People were forced to leave their homes with little more than the clothes on their backs. Let's go to our Kana Whitworth with some of their stories. Morning, Kana.
Yeah, Robin, good morning. Look, I heard this fire described here in the Palisades as a monster, and now that we're really seeing the aftermath of it, I can tell you that's a good way to describe it. In fact, I've had multiple people say things to me like every single person I know in Pacific Palisades has lost their home. And it's also striking when you turn this corner to see the vast nothingness now that was once the most sought after neighborhood in this country. And authorities told me this morning there's a new problem. The homes that are left standing, they're getting reports now of looting.
We gotta get out of here.
This morning, apocalyptic scenes across Los Angeles as harrowing stories of survival emerge from families fleeing the infernos through tunnels of fire.
All of PCH is on fire right now. It is like driving through hell itself down here. These homes are on fire and you can feel the heat from the flames, even from inside your car.
Desperate to escape,
We've just been evacuated.
Aaron Sampson and his elderly father-in-law fleeing the Pacific Palisades fire, stranded without a car, a good Samaritan driving them 35 minutes before everyone abandoned their cars and continued on foot.
This is crazy. There's a fire right outside our car. We got this. We got this. Come on. Turn around. You got it. Keep walking down the hill. We got it, Dad. We got it.
And these cars turning the road into a parking lot, and the ones left, charred husks. Our David Muir on the scene.
The traffic was so bad they figured their chances were better getting out on foot and running the rest of the way out of here.
I mean, it's an apocalyptic scene here.
It is. It is. You see where the bulldozer had to come through and push the cars aside so we can get up here.
My parents' house burnt down, my grandparents' house burnt down, and my aunt and uncle's house burnt down.
3 generations of the Doran family now piled.
Do you see how quickly they are with the news? Because celebrities' homes are burning, whereas for Palestine, it took Western media decades to show the news what's happening. Innocent Palestinians. They went to Asheville, North Carolina, as well. Okay? It's American news in the United States of America in a major American city. Of course, they're going to have a lot of immediate on-the-ground coverage as opposed to the ongoing act of genocide that they participate in hiding from the American public. I don't know what point you're making here. Like, yes. Yes. news media is better at covering domestic issues than they are at foreign policy across the board. No journalist is allowed to enter Gaza or they'll just kill them. Oh. I'm in so much pain, I swear to God.
Sailed into Caitlin's Marina Del Rey apartment. As the smoke cleared, the Palisades village looking more like a war zone than a popular shopping area. Skeletal remains of the businesses unrecognizable. Some homes were spared, but the embers that were blown by the powerful Santa Ana winds would burn homes just next door. The Palisades fire scorching everything in its path, disintegrating homes and vehicles. Residents like Curtis losing everything.
It's just pretty devastating. This is pretty devastating. I don't think LA's seen anything like this before.
65-year-old Randy Stokel says his neighborhood has been turned upside down.
I stopped a couple fires. I stopped one that went, and then it reignited about 4:30 this morning, and thank God I woke up at the perfect time, and I got it, and I stopped it from burning my house. And it's a tough day today.
And the fire swept through the Altadena neighborhood of Lisa Marie Burnside and Stuart Brawley, leaving it unrecognizable.
It's really hard to process what a town that's been decimated by fire looks like.
Shelters packed with evacuees.
You don't know what to grab.
My dentist gave me oxycodone, acetaminophen, generic for Percocet, and I don't want to take it because I don't want to be a perked up shouty. That's what it is. So I'm just going to take an Advil. It's annoying.
No time, and we didn't have room in the car anyway.
So many residents don't know if their home is still standing, but the Rifkin family knows that they lost everything. Their smart home app sending alerts as it burnt to the ground.